morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's your girl ChucTayyy, and I am here with your RETV Sports Break. You can catch me here every Thursday, talking junk, spitting facts. Let's get started. So listen, guys, Scottie Pippen, I'm not sure if it's drugs he's taking or drugs he needs to be taking, but this fool is tripping. Okay, so in case you haven't heard, he wrote a book. So of course, when you write a book, you know, you go on all these shows and you say all kind of crazy stuff out of your mouth so that people will go and buy the book. I think I also heard through the grapevine he has like some scotch or some bourbon or something coming out as well. So, you know, he's trying to get that coin on the low, but he's just saying anything out of his mouth. So most recently, after that whole debacle about him talking about KD like a week or two ago, this man goes on the Dan Patrick show and says out of his lips that Phil Jackson is a racist. But here's why he says he's a racist. This is what he leads with, at least. He leads with, in the time after Michael Jordan leaves, after, you know, that team, that era of the Bulls kind of breaks up, if you will. He's left. He's the man. He's Michael Jordan adjacent, basically, is what I took from this conversation. And with the game on the line, Phil Jackson draws up a play for Tony Kukoc and not Scottie Pippen. So apparently, in Scotty's mind, that makes Phil Jackson racist. Why wouldn't you draw up a play for me? I've been here. I did this. I'm Scottie Pippen. First of all, he also refers to himself in the third person, which I already can't stand. So, you know, why wouldn't you give Scottie Pippen the ball? Why would you make Scottie Pippen take it out? Blah, blah, blah. So that makes him a racist? Then he goes on to say something about a book that Phil Jackson wrote some years ago, before he becomes the coach of the Lakers, talking about Kobe Bryant and something about hippity hop and the way white people play and the way black people play. And that part sounds a little sus. I'm not going to hold you. That sounds a little bad. But this whole he drew up a play for the white boy and not for me, that's not quite doing it for me, Scotty. It's a no for me, dog. Like that doesn't make him racist. It makes him a probably a good coach. Even if it makes him a bad coach, it makes him a coach. He made a coaching decision to draw this play up for Tony and not for you. Get over it. Doesn't make him a racist. So that's the first thing he says that's crazy. Second thing he says that's crazy is this one made me laugh. So he says that whole conversation, so if you didn't watch The Last Dance, you may have seen this clip, but whatever the game is where Michael Jordan says to Steve Kerr, be ready. You know, like, I'm going to pass you the ball. They've been double teaming me. John Stockton, blah, blah, blah. Be ready. Scottie Pippen says that entire conversation was fake and rehearsed and only happened because of the cameras. Because Michael knew that the cameras were there. They were on him. The camera people worked for Michael Jordan. Were there to make Michael Jordan look good. Not that he needed help with that, but okay. And that's why he said, rehearsed to say to Steve Kerr, hey, be ready, I'm going to pass you the ball because they're double teaming me. But here's the gag, Scotty. Even if he did rehearse it, he passed him the ball. So, like, what are we talking about? I don't understand. Like, what are you saying out of your lips, sir? Like, even if that was rehearsed because he wanted the cameraman to capture that and make him look like a team player and blah, 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 he does it. So it doesn't matter. Like, he passes him the ball. The double team came exactly like he said because it's been happening. Steve Kerr, open, pass him the ball, bang, bang, in there. So what's the problem, Scotty? What is the problem? Is the problem that you weren't around? Like, what is it? What's happening? You weren't part of that conversation? Shut up. I just had to get that out because, you know, guys, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's just stupid. You just saying anything out of your mouth and double down on this racist thing. Like I said, I didn't read that Phil Jackson book, so I'm only getting bits and pieces of what it said, you know, from just as these reports start coming out. Robert Orr is a little bit pissed about it, that Scottie Pippen said this. Just like, but like, what? Anyway, I just had to get that out because it's stupid. And, you know, again, he's just been saying stupid things out of his mouth. It's feeling real Paul Piercy to me. You know, it's just feeling a little hatery to me. I don't like it. moving on. I guess we'll stick with basketball here. So Greek Freak hurt his knee. As it stands in this very moment in which I am having this conversation with this iPad, and not in which the time you guys are watching it, it is undetermined what exactly is wrong with him. So at first they say it's an apparent knee injury. Then they say it's an apparent ACL sprain. Then they say he may have torn his ACL. There's a lot of things floating out in the universe. At this particular second, there is no official ruling on what is going on, but it is highly unlikely that he is going to play in Thursday's game 5 of the series, in which at present the Bucks and the Hawks series is tied 2-2. Trae Young also did not play on Tuesday night, so there's just a lot of things going on here, and honestly it could go either way. Again, because the only thing I wrote down last week was Suns in 5 in the finals, and I'm sticking with that. I'm not sure who I said was I think I said the Bucks were gonna win, but if he is truly hurt, Chris Middleton cannot do it all. Cannot. So I'm gonna go with Atlanta going forward. I'm pretty sure that the Freak is not coming back. Listen, I've had my knees cut up several times in my years, okay? It sounded like a no for me, dog. That's where I'm at. So I'm going to go ahead and say Hawks 4-2. That's what I'm going to say. In the Western Conference, again, stop playing with Devin Booker. Now you got a Rip Hamilton mask. And listen, I don't know what I said about Paul George. I don't know if I said anything on this show about Paul George. What I have said previously is he cannot carry that team. Has he tried to show me up in the last couple of games? Sure he has. Is he going to carry that team to the finals? He absolutely is not. He's not. He doesn't have it. He had 41 the other night. That's great. 41 and I think like 13 defensive rebounds. Great. That sounds amazing, Paul. But you can't do it. You don't have it. You don't have it to carry this team to the finals. You just don't. Not against Devin Booker and CP. You just don't. You ain't got it. You ain't got the votes. Okay, Hamilton? You don't have it. Even like I said, he had 41 the other night. They win. They narrowly defeat elimination at that point. Like, they were down 3-1 at that point. They narrowly, they get by. But Kawhi Leonard, he's out for Thursday. That's already a thing. He's out. I'm sorry, not for Thursday, for Wednesday, tonight, the night in which I'm having this conversation with this iPad. Kawhi's still not back, okay? Also, Paul George, he's turned it on for the last couple of games, but also at this very moment still isn't even leading the team in points. It's still Kawhi Leonard. So it's like you don't lead. He's not. I wouldn't reduce him to a role player because I think that's too much. I wouldn't do that. He's just not. You're not going to lead that team to the finals. I'm just going to leave it at that. Not against Devin Booker and CP. If CP wasn't back, there might be a conversation we could have about this a little bit more. But I'm gonna say no. No. So tonight, the night in which I'm having this conversation with the iPad, is Game 6 for the Western Conference Finals. So by the time you watch this tomorrow, I'm pretty sure it's going to have already been determined that Phoenix is going to the finals. And if not, then I'm wrong, and it is what it is. We live to talk another day. But that's what I'm going with right now, because you guys will see this before the game will be played before you guys see this. Yep, that's what I'm trying to say. So we'll just see what happens. If I'm wrong, feel free to leave me a comment on YouTube and say, hey, chick, you was wrong, but I'm not going to be, so it's okay. Don't even worry about it. And again, I say, I wrote it down, guys. I wrote it down somewhere. I don't know where it is, but Suns in 5 in the finals. I said it. It was me. Heard it here first. Maybe, but you heard it here. So that's where we're at with it. Last but not least, the Olympics. I feel like this has been going on for like a really long time, partially because we started this last year and then it got sent away because of the Rona, and now it's back, and there's a lot of things going on. But like I said last week, the men, not quite doing it for me this year. It's all about the girls. And we're going to talk about all this good black girl magic that's getting ready to enter Tokyo in July. Listen here. The girls, gymnastics, basketball, swimming, tennis, judo, soccer. What else? Track, boxing, fencing. All of the things. All of the things. And who I am specifically going to talk about today, Simone the GOAT Biles. Listen here. I said last week that there was no way that she wasn't going. And there was just no way. She stumbled, she tripped, she was pissed, she got back, she finished. It didn't matter. She was already going, even if she could have fallen off of that thing, the beam, and she was still going. It's fine. It's freaking Simone Biles. She had GOAT flip-flops on. The GOAT. But more importantly, to me at least, Jordan Childs. So why this is important? Because it's just another one of those. So you guys remember last year, a couple years ago, it was two UCLA players. Can't really think of their names right now. It was two guys. Tall guy, a shorter guy. The taller guy, I really am blanking on their names right now. He had his head down. My man comes, lifts his head up, fix your crown, king. That is Simone Biles and Jordan Childs, okay? Jordan Childs didn't make the Olympics last time we did this, right? And was literally getting ready to quit gymnastics. Was just like, this isn't for me. I'm gonna go be an accountant. That's not what she said, but she was ready to go. Simone Biles said, hey baby girl, listen, you finished high school, you moved down here with me to Texas, you gonna train in my facility, I'm gonna get you right. And what happened now, baby girl? Going to the Olympics. Listen here. You want to talk about fixing somebody's crown? And she don't say nothing. There wasn't no hoopla or hullabaloo about it. Simone Biles ain't looking for no pat on the back because she's the GOAT. The GOAT. And y'all cannot touch her. We're going to revisit this GOAT conversation too, because like I said with this whole Tom Brady thing, athlete is becoming a little bit too fluid of a term. I had a conversation with a friend of mine over the weekend because, my kids, they started to play sports. And my son, he decided he wanted to play baseball. And he is probably the worst baseball player I've ever seen right now. But I'm not going to hold it against him because he's 3. Nevertheless, no offense, no shade. I don't quite understand. They play sports. Baseball players play sports. They play a sport, right? You could probably never say that there is a baseball player that is solely a baseball player and that literally does nothing else, could be the GOAT. I've never heard that. I could be wrong, but I've never heard that personally. I believe that term athlete, well, first of all, we're throwing this GOAT thing around entirely too much, but people like Simone Biles, Serena Williams, those are athletes, okay? Yes, they both participate in, because you don't say you play gymnastics. Nevertheless, they play and or participate in a sport, a singular sport. But here's the thing though. Simone Biles, while gymnastics is one entity, right? You have beam, you have bar, you have vault, you have floor routines, that sport requires a lot. And not saying that football players don't do nothing or basketball players don't do nothing, because you use your body, right? I mean, football is literally a contact sport. And I guess in the grand scheme of things, in gymnastics, you're not hitting. It's not like a contact, sport like football or basketball, wrestling, what have you. But in my mind, if you look at it's just not the same. It's just not the same because, for football, for example, you pick a side for the most part. The quarterback, Tom Brady in this example, he plays on one side of the ball. Is Tom Brady a beast? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is he probably one of the greatest football players that we have ever seen? Sure. For clarity, one of. Yes, sure. I will say that. And I don't even really enjoy Tom Brady like that. He is one of the greatest football players that I have ever seen. However, again, I say he plays one side of the ball. Plays that one side amazing, but he plays one side. Whereas with basketball, just as an example, you're going to play both sides of the ball, if you will. You're going to play your offense and you're going to play defense unless you're James Harden. With gymnastics, while you may not have both sides of a ball, or you may not have an offense and a defense, you can do a little bit of everything. And Simone Biles does it all. She does everything. We're gonna, maybe one week we'll just have that in between of football and basketball and things like that. We'll talk a little bit more in detail about that, but just some food for thought for you guys, because we keep throwing this GOAT thing around. Think about what athletes are, and it is defined as like someone who plays a sport, one or more sports. So yes, I got that, but I don't know. It's just not doing it for me with some of these people y'all are putting that title on. And I'm going to just leave it at that. So anyway, the Olympics start July the 23rd. We are inching our way there. We are still keeping tabs. Oh yeah, that happened like literally right after I sent in my video last week, so you guys can see all the crazy edits that my producer does. But Devin Booker has joined, or said he was joining, the Olympic team this year. So there's that, but once he goes to the finals, because we know he's going to the finals, we have to kind of see how that transpires. And again, I say I am very much prepared for the men's U.S.A. basketball team to have so much to say if they do not perform well. I'm not saying they're not going to, but if they do not, if they bring home anything less than gold, the conversation is going to be, well, some of our players and blah, blah, blah in the finals, and they were beat up and they were tired, and we didn't have LeBron, and we didn't have... All of that is coming if they bring home anything less than gold. If they bring home the gold, it will be the same conversation but switched around. Oh, but do you see how much adversity and blah, blah. So either way, something's getting ready to happen with this team, whether they medal or not. So just be prepared for it. And that's about it for me this week, guys. I will see you guys next week. You guys have a happy and safe 4th of July. Please do not pass out from heat stroke. Drink your water, wear your mask, get vaccinated if you have not, social distance as needed. Follow your girl on Instagram at ChucTayyy. That's ChucTayyy. That's 3 Y's for those who can't count. And I will see you next week. See you later.